Overwatch just dropped the 2. Like literally in February 2026, a few months ago, Blizzard announced that Overwatch 2 is now just Overwatch again. And this isn't some simple rebrand. This is a complete narrative reset. 5 brand new heroes launching simultaneously, a brand new sub-role system that changes how every character plays, a full UI overhaul, and a year-long story arc called The Reign of Talon that's being told through cinematics, comics, animated shorts, in-game events, and live map updates. The game went from this moment in December 2024 where Marvel Rivals stole 45% of departing players to bouncing back with 18.97 million monthly active players by December 2025. And now, here in June 2026, it's sitting at 15.7 million engaged players. Today, I'm breaking down why Overwatch's 2026 comeback proves that a live service game can recover from decline if the developer commits to genuine change, not just cosmetics and hype.
Overwatch 2 launched as free-to-play in October 2022, replacing the original Overwatch entirely. The shift was massive. The game went from a $60 purchase to completely free with cosmetic monetization. Blizzard repositioned the entire franchise around seasonal content, battle passes, and in-game shop cosmetics. The first 2 years of Overwatch 2 were genuinely successful. Player counts were healthy. The competitive scene was established. The esports ecosystem rebuilt itself around new structures. But by 2024, something shifted. Player fatigue set in. The seasonal content felt repetitive. New heroes were coming slower than players wanted. The meta became stale. And then, in December 2024, Marvel Rivals, a competing hero shooter from NetEase, launched with massive marketing and a star-studded roster. The game immediately pulled 45% of departing Overwatch players. Not everyone quit Overwatch 2, but enough people took a break to make it noticeable. Suddenly, the conversation shifted. Is Overwatch dead? Became a monthly forum post. Streamers who'd built their brands on Overwatch content were streaming other games. The narrative became one of decline. Blizzard stayed quiet through January 2025, which made things worse. The silence made people assume the worst. Then came the Overwatch Spotlight 2026 event in early February. Blizzard didn't announce a new update. They announced a complete reset. The 2 was dropped. Everything was being rebuilt. This wasn't damage control, this was confidence. This was Blizzard saying, we're not fixing OW2, we're creating Overwatch the next chapter.
The Reign of Talon is what separates this 2026 update from typical seasonal content. It's a year-long narrative spanning all 6 seasons, where the story of Overwatch and Talon, the antagonistic faction, plays out across cinematics, in-game events, map changes, voice lines, comics, animated shorts, and live updates. The cinematic that kicked things off was called Vendetta. It showed Vendetta, a relatively new hero, slicing off Doomfist's cybernetic arm and taking control of Talon. This wasn't some side lore. This was a fundamental shift in the Overwatch universe. The world is literally changing through gameplay. What's genius about the Reign of Talon structure is that it gives the entire year narrative weight. You're not just grinding seasonal content, you're participating in a story. When a new map launches, it's not just new geometry, it's a location where the Overwatch Talon conflict is happening. When a new hero launches, they have a role in the ongoing story. The Conquest meta event lets players align with either Overwatch or Talon, earning rewards based on community performance. It's faction warfare on a metagame level. Your choice matters to both the story and your rewards. This creates engagement beyond just playing the game. You're invested in which faction succeeds. The narrative is being told through multiple mediums. Comics are releasing on the Overwatch website. Animated hero trailers are dropping throughout the year. Voice lines in the game reference current story events. Map changes reflect the consequences of the Overwatch Talon conflict. It's immersive storytelling integrated into gameplay in ways most live service games don't attempt. Season 1 dropped 5 new heroes on February 10, 2026. 5 at once, that's unprecedented. Domina is a new tank with gravity manipulation abilities. Amaray is a damage hero with high mobility. Mizuki is a support character focused on team protection. Anran is another damage hero with hacking mechanics. Jetpack Cat is literally a stray cat flying around in a jetpack providing aerial support for teammates.
The fact that Jetpack Hat exists, a meme character that the community joked about for years, being made canon shows Blizzard's commitment to embracing the community and having fun with the game. This character shouldn't work, but somehow it does. It disarms cynicism. Players logging in to see Jetpack Cat and immediately feel like the developers get it. The sub-role system is equally important. Every character now falls into a more specific sub-role with unique passive bonuses. Tanks have 3 sub-roles: Initiator, Bruiser, and Stalwart. Damage has 4: Specialist, Flanker, Recon, and Sharpshooter. Support has 3: Medic, Tactician, and Survivor. This system is brilliant because it creates role identity without forcing players into narrow playstyles. A Flanker damage hero plays completely differently than a Sharpshooter, so team composition becomes more diverse. The meta doesn't collapse into these 3 heroes every game, it expands because more heroes are viable in different contexts. Blizzard committed to releasing 10 new heroes in 2026, 1 per season. That's an unprecedented pace. It forces the meta to constantly evolve. By December 2026, players will have experienced 20 heroes they've never fought before. The game feels perpetually fresh.
Beyond new heroes, the 2026 update overhauled the entire user interface. The old Overwatch 2 UI was functional but clunky. The new interface is cleaner, more intuitive, and more information-dense without being overwhelming. Menu navigation is faster. Game settings are more accessible. The HUD during matches is clearer about ability cooldowns and tactical information. The competitive reset is significant. Instead of continuing from Season 20, the new competitive season starts at Season 1. This literally resets how Blizzard treats ranked play. Placement matches recalibrate everyone. Competitive rewards reset. There's a psychological clarity. Season 1 means new beginning, not just another update. The faction-based Conquest meta event added a layer of complexity. Beyond ranked and casual play, there's now a persistent world where your play contributes to faction dominance. Players collect faction-specific cosmetics. The winning faction each week gets acknowledged in-game. It's not essential to competitive play, but it incentivizes engagement beyond just playing matches. The 5v5 format that was introduced in 2022 is now supplemented with 6v6 playlists for players who prefer the original format. This flexibility means more players can enjoy the game at their preferred pace. The queue times remain reasonable because the player base is large enough to support multiple formats. Performance across platforms is solid. PC, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch all run the game smoothly. The upcoming Switch 2 port coming in Season 2 will expand the audience further. Crossplay works seamlessly, so friends can play together regardless of platform.
The Overwatch Champion Series launched in 2025 and continues strong in 2026. The esports scene doesn't have the peak viewership it had during the Overwatch League's height in 2018-2019, but it's genuinely competitive and professional. Major tournaments average 50,000 to 150,000 concurrent viewers depending on region and time zone. What's interesting is how Overwatch esports had to restructure after losing some of the Overwatch League franchises. Rather than a centralized league requiring multi-million-dollar investments, the OWCS uses a more distributed model. Teams can participate without requiring massive budgets. Regional play exists alongside international tournaments. It's more democratic, but perhaps less glamorous than the Overwatch League's peak. The skill ceiling for competitive Overwatch remains exceptional. The new sub-role system actually raised the skill floor because team composition matters more. You can't just have 5 skilled mechanical players. You need cohesion and role-specific understanding. This has made the competitive landscape more interesting because brute mechanical skill alone doesn't guarantee victory. The return of the King Tournament series brought back many veteran players. Seeing professional legends playing on 2026 patches created genuine competitive moments. The meta evolution from patch to patch creates storylines. Pro players have to constantly adapt. This keeps esports content fresh even for viewer veterans.
Is Overwatch worth playing in 2026? Absolutely, for multiple reasons. If you enjoy team-based competitive shooters, Overwatch remains one of the best. The gameplay is tightly designed. The character interactions are mechanically interesting. The competitive ladder is genuinely challenging. If you appreciate live service games done right, Overwatch 2026 is a masterclass. The year-long narrative arc shows developers can tell stories through gameplay. The regular content releases mean you always have a reason to log in. The free-to-play model with cosmetic monetization is fair. You can earn cosmetics through gameplay without needing to pay. If you're someone who quit during the decline of 2024, the 2026 reset might be worth revisiting. The game legitimately feels different. The sub-role system changes hero matchups. 5 simultaneous new heroes means the meta you left behind is completely transformed. The narrative provides context that makes seasonal events feel meaningful rather than arbitrary. The caveats are minimal. The game still has bugs occasionally. Queue times can get long at specific skill ratings. Some cosmetics are expensive. The seasonal model means some cosmetics are time-limited, creating FOMO if you miss events. These are live service realities that don't destroy the experience but exist. In 2026, after surviving Marvel Rivals competition and player decline, Overwatch proved that developer commitment to genuine change can save a live service game. Blizzard didn't just patch things, they rebuilt from foundations. They dropped the 2, they gave the year a story spine. They committed to unprecedented hero releases. They rethought fundamental systems like role identity. Most live service games decline permanently. Some bounce back. Overwatch bounced back. Thanks for watching. If you've played the new Overwatch in 2026, let me know in the comments.